4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
Oh, how do you count to 10?
Hey, it's colder today than it was yesterday.
You think?
Yes.
1, 2, 3,
You don't know how to dress.
No.
7, 8, 9,
Oops.
10, 11, 12, 13,
Sorry.
15, 16,
Go clock in.
17, 18,
Woody.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Want to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, yes.
I'll keep.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as far as announcements, pretty similar to what we've had. This meeting's being recorded by local scene. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. There are several volunteer opportunities at the Council on Aging, including but not limited to Meals on Wheels, volunteers, volunteer help at the cafe, volunteers needed with computer skills, and senior tax write-off volunteer opportunities. If you are interested in any of these or would just like to volunteer in general, please reach out to the director of the COA. For those who wish to contact the COA Advisory Board, please note our email, coa-ab@kingstonmass.gov. Is there anybody here for open forum? I guess not. Okay, so have you all read the secretary report for October 14th? Any questions or anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion for you. Accept the minutes for October 14th, 2025.
Anybody second? Pauline? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, business one, new business, Aging Dementia Working Group and Livable Kingston Action Plan. Holly, you'll talk about that on your,
Yes.
and Kathy, is there anything you?
Yeah, we're really moving along nicely with that. We've decided not to have a meeting in December because it's close, everybody's busy. We are going to choose the 3 domains that we will work on. And we've got a lot of good information about the first one, which is housing that we have chosen. So that will all be able to be printed and handed out, I would imagine, the percentages, right, of the survey, how they voted and everything. I thought
The survey results for January.
yeah, for January.
What are the 3?
Well, we
We
haven't chosen.
haven't,
Haven't yet, okay.
but everybody's talking about those 3, so I'm just giving a little heads up. It's an awesome group and they work very hard. And I am grateful to be part of it. Thank you.
Okay, next item, new business 2. We have a guest speaker today, George Samia. So you're the interim town administrator.
Yes.
Tell us a little about your experience and how it is filling the role of this job.
Well, I actually started out, God, I hate to say this, about 40 years ago. As I was still young, I just was out of college. I started out as the town accountant for the town of Lakeville. And since that point in time, I've worked for, I'm going to say, if I include all the interims that I've done now, I've worked for about 11 different towns. I've done everything from town accountant to finance director to town administrator / finance director to straight town administrator to finance director in a number of different towns, which includes, let me see, Lakeville, Abington, Sturbridge, Foxwater, Carver, Fairhaven, Kingston, and I probably left Wareham. I've left off a few. There's a few there. I'm beginning to get to that point where I've forgotten where I've been anymore. But so I've got about 40 years behind me or whatever in this area, and this happened to come in. This particular opening came in. I was in Fairhaven, and as you folks probably know, Keith Hickey, your town administrator, ended up taking the job in Fairhaven. And I think what ended up happening was he had a number of months still that on his contract, and he, didn't want to just up and leave. And I think at some point my name got batted around that I was doing it over in Fairhaven, and we kind of just switched seats or whatever, and I came over here, he went over to Fairhaven, and we're still in touch as we speak.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
So. And how's Kingston
Well,
compared to the rest?
Well, the truth be told, I think everybody thinks that their town has a lot of problems. And let me say this, there's a lot of problems everywhere right now, an inordinate amount of problems everywhere. And so I would probably say, even though sometimes you might look up and say, boy, what are we doing wrong? I think the further I've traveled, the more I'm coming to the realization that the problems are the same in every town that I'm in. Primarily, it starts off with the budget, heavy budgetary problems everywhere, and it's starting to come out now. You're starting to see articles in your newspapers about it. You're starting to see news things on the actual TV. It's becoming something that everybody's getting aware of. So I often say it's not necessarily, if it was just the town of Kingston, I would say, well, boy, you guys really did something wrong. But when it's everybody, you're being, there are forces from a higher experience that are pushing down on you. And in this case, I'm going to say it would be the state and the federal government and what have you that's making this take place. We're in a hard season, I believe, and the only solace is that I don't think it's anybody in particular that's caused this. No.
Do you want to retire?
I actually am retired. If you want to call it that, I retired 2 years ago, and
They put it back out.
Yeah, I actually dipped my toe in it. I didn't really think it was going to be quite as intense as it is right now. I mean, it seems like it's just the phone keeps ringing, and every time I think, well, okay, I'll probably take it the next couple of months. Oh, can you come over here and help us with this? Even now, I'm working for Kingston, but I've got 4 other places that I'm doing, not necessarily town. I work for a regional dispatch up in Foxborough. I'm the treasurer for them, and then they're merging with another regional dispatch, which I'm also going to be the treasurer for over there. I'm still helping financial with Fairhaven, and I just was asked to help with some budgetary things for a proposal or whatever for Rochester. So I'm kind of like all over,
Why not retire?
No.
The family built up.
Well, but the problem is my wife actually outflanks me in that area too, because she retired, but she's putting in about a 50-hour week every week, working for doing consulting work for banks and what have you. So it's a strange experience. I really didn't think it was going to be quite as intense as it's been, but I think it's also a symbol of the times where there's just nobody out there anymore that has either the experience or the willingness to jump in. I think we were just discussing the way, even if you look at some things, like just before we started the meeting, I was saying when I started off as a young man, and I was only like 27 when I began in this area, I can recall, if you ever said anything, when I was working as the town accountant, the outside details, which is always a big thing in every town with the police. If you ever came out and said something to the effect of, what do you need a policeman to do traffic control for or whatever? Well, back when I was that age, they would have. The police would have hung you. Okay, if you ever said something like that. Nowadays, all the towns are having to go for a brand new thing that you might actually be familiar with. If you notice, a lot of times when you see an outside detail, it's all older gentlemen. And now there's a new thing that all the police are going for, where they don't carry a gun, And there's a certain legislation where you can work now until you're almost 70 or whatever, because there's no, the younger group doesn't want it anymore. So,
Yeah.
and it's the same with, it's not just the police, it's everywhere. It's the town administrators, there's just nobody out there that wants the job anymore, and it, you know.
That I don't want to interrupt,
No.
but with my experience with my husband, yes, people do not go into municipal education at all. There's nothing out there in the colleges that
No.
teach municipal.
No.
It's all on the job. You get your basic accounting and what have you, but you've got to be able to redo it and apply it to municipal ways. And nobody realizes that. It's
Exactly.
a very small pool of people that are able to move on into different areas.
I used to tell, you know, when I went to school, I got an MBA. I got my master's in business, and everybody said, well, how come you didn't go get the MPA, which is the master's in public? And I used to say, I mean, you just said it. I mean, the business has all the other, I said, the public stuff, you kind of learn it on the job. I mean, there isn't a lot of, you know, like books out there that you can do
Yeah.
the day-to-day things that happen around in a municipality, or they're unique.
Even districts like water districts, whatever.
Yeah.
He was a treasurer for a water district.
Yes.
And again, well, you're into that.
Yes.
So you know what it's like. It's crazy.
Yes, it's a,
Nobody understands it.
nobody understands it. And I also have noticed that as we move along, as you go from town hall to town hall, the institutional memory is gone, and it's usually, now it just seems like, well, I've been here for a year and a half, or I've been here for 2 years, or something. And there might be peppered in amongst them somebody that might have, you know, 10 or 12 or 15 years, but they're getting ready to retire. But you don't see like when I first started out, there were guys people on the finance committee, for example. Oh, I've been on here for the last 15 years. You don't see that anymore. It's all brand new people everywhere. And, you know, it's a hard, and it makes it even harder because this is far more complicated than it looks. It used to be the sleepy little area that you'd come into, I'll go work for the town. Now it's all about, you know, dealing with legal unions and the state with their mandates and, you know, various accounting methodologies. And I mean, it just goes on and on. There's so many different areas, and they're all regulated, and it's just not that easy anymore. And if you lose that institutional memory, it's hard to keep up with it.
My husband was 56 years old when he retired because he had years of service.
Yes.
Years of service plus, you know, he could retire.
Yeah.
At 56.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He did, okay. But then he did what Judge is doing, so.
Yeah.
It's really, if you've been in it, it's really interesting to see how it's revolved.
The thing that always frightened me, and I kind of experienced it when I went out, was I was out for about 90 days. And of course, the first 30, it's fun because, you know, it's a Sunday night and, you know, I don't have to go to bed to get up in the morning. But after about 90 days, you start washing the car 4 times, 5 times a week. And you're in there. And they asked me, they said, well, why are you into it again? You know, why'd you get back in after you just retired? And I said, well, I basically got to the last episode of Murder, She Wrote, and it's found out I had nothing left to live for anymore. So, but what really frightened me, to be truthful, was I've seen a lot of people in this area, not just here, but you run into the person, I've been doing this for 45, 50 years, I'm going to retire. And then they go out and suddenly 3 months later, they're gone. It's almost like there was nothing left to do. And I started saying, I just can't sit around watching TV all day. And you gotta have something to get up for.
And my dad was a police officer in Boston.
Okay.
He retired at the age of 70.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he stayed on that job and there was no getting him Dad, retire, will
Yeah,
ya?
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then, but once he retired after that, he didn't last that long at all.
It's almost like I don't have any reason to get up
Yeah.
in the morning anymore,
He
you know?
passed away a couple of years later.
Exactly, exactly. So,
Anybody else, any questions or?
George, I have a question. The vote that the town took on Saturday for the, it was the debt exclusion to
Yes.
fund the roof replacement
Yes.
for the school. So
yes,
how does that, what did that yes vote mean for the town?
okay, there are two types. Everybody's heard the word override, okay? And then there is, you probably have heard the word debt exclusion as well, okay? When Proposition 2.5 came in, there is a formula that every town in the state of Massachusetts has to abide by, that you can go up on your taxes up to 2.5%. Okay, now do not confuse that with, well, last year I was paying 100,000 on my house. My house was worth 100,000 and now it should be only up to 102,000. It's the entire valuation of the town goes up, and then there's a calculation that comes in, and this will come down to a bottom line and say, this is how much more you can get from your taxes right now. That is, unless the people of the town come and vote an override. Okay, so if they vote a continuous override, okay, which is forever, you come back and say, we don't have enough money for our budget, let's say, for $2 million. We would like, right now, we've got an extra, whatever, I'm making it up. According to Proposition 2.5, I have $1 million more that I can raise this year on our property taxes, okay? I'd like to raise 3 million. Do I have your permission to do that? And the people of the town will come out and say yes or no. And right now, predominantly, everybody's saying no, okay? Because it's going to permanently raise your tax. So what's the difference between a override, which is forever, or a debt exclusion? A debt exclusion essentially takes a situation. Now, in this case, it's a roof. Okay, the roof was $1.5 million in its totality. Okay, I mean, for this particular piece of the project, there's more to this roof than just where they're working. The state is going to kick in, for the sake of this, we'll call it 750,000. Okay, so now what was asked by the town, would you override for 750,000, okay, in or around, okay, for the cost of this roof? Now, what they're going to do is they're going to go out and bond it, just like you would do for, or if it was a private person, you'd go out and take a loan for your house, okay?
Right.
So that 750 is going to be paid off over the next 20 years or however long the bond is going to go for. I'm going to call it 20 because a lot of them are standard. Okay, so if you took $750,000 and divided it out by 20, you're going to have, just like you have on your house, a payment every year that you have to make to pay that 750 off, and it'll also have interest on it. So let's just call it something like $40,000 or $50,000 is what you're going to pay on that roof a year. And I'm rounding the numbers because I haven't got my calculator with me. But so what happens is you pay that, and you have asked the town, can I override for the 50,000 that's on that payment for the next 20 years until it's paid off? Once that payment, if the final payment is made, that disappears off your taxes, the payment disappears, and everything stays, your taxes go down a little bit by $50,000. So what you overrode for in this case was somewhere around a $50,000 payment that you'll pay for either 15, 20 years or whatever the bond is. But it's not forever. Okay, it's only for the length of it. So it's just like if you did this for your own home, it's for the length of the loan that you took on your house. So again, a bond is very much like a loan, only it's what a municipality does. And so you're going out bonding for this, and they're giving you the money in this company, and then the payments you're making are actually going into someone's portfolio that you'd see on Wall Street when you see these large, well, I'm into the Barron's Mutual Fund or something to that effect, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I right in assuming there was only 11% of the roof that they were talking about?
They did say that at this point.
Because of the time, the grant, one of the grants was
When you're,
got,
yeah, well, what happens is this, when you're in with the Mass School Building Authority, MSBA, okay, they have various criteria that you have to follow to get the loan, okay? So certain parts of this roof had already been repaired, so they weren't that old. And, oh, I'm sorry, we can only
they had to be
give it to you if it was like 20 years old.
25
20
years.
years old.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, at this point, only a certain amount of the roof could be repaired. Now they have to wait, and then the MSBA will say, well, we'll do it. Now, that doesn't preclude you, by the way, from going out and doing it all on your own. Okay, you could have done it. In this particular case, though, you had $1.5 million. They're kicking in something like 750,000. So it does make it advantageous to use it, because some of it, they're doing about 50% of whatever the cost. The downside somewhat to the MSBA that I hear in different is like everything else, that when you're in with a lot of times with the state of Massachusetts or any of its entities, once you're in with them, then there are other caveats that get thrown in as to, well, I can't do. Now, one of the things that came up at the town meeting, and I think you must have been there.
I wasn't.
I don't know whether anybody was there
I
or watched
wasn't.
it. But one of the caveats, they said, well, wait a minute, when you first came out of the gate, it was 1.2 million, and now it's 1.5 million.
Right.
What happened? Well, we were required to go put struts or something on the roof that will hold solar panels, okay? Because that's one of now on the state level, that was one of the
Stipulations.
of their thing. So again, there's the caveat now. Well, we'll give it to you, but you got to do this as well. So sometimes, depending upon the size of the project, you got that thought process of saying, should I do this one on our own? When I say on my own, I mean the town on your own, or should we, continue with it, and then, because there's going to be other things that might be in. Now, for example, East Bridgewater just did one. I think they're trying to rebuild or build a brand new elementary school, is for 140 million. Okay. And now the state will probably come in with 70 of that. So yeah, it's quite a bit of money, to turn down. So it is advantageous in a very large project. Some of the smaller ones, I guess you'd have to think your way through and say, is this worth it to me to do?
I think the rest of the roof is at 24 years. It's close.
They were very close to to bringing it back again for the 2 years out, and then saying, can we do the rest? And again, assuming that everything is where it's supposed to be. Again, you would go right through the same exact
Process. Yes.
process.
Because they want to make it, one of the caveats was to make it almost available to put solar on it, even though we're not going to.
Right.
But they,
Solar ready. Yeah.
right,
But there was no plan.
No
Or
plan
there
for
there
that.
are no current plans
Right.
to install solar panels. It just being one of the caveats of the grant was that it had to be solar. Right?
That's why it went up.
It's one of the, it becomes one of those, Faustian decisions you have to make that it's like, you know, so many things that you see on different levels, whether it be the state or the federal government. I mean, they said the school lunch was around when I was a little boy. Okay, that was there, and they were paying. You know, the federal government was paying for the school lunch. Nowadays, when you go to do the school lunch, there were all sorts of caveats on that too. Well, you know, well, we won't give you the school lunch money unless you do this or whatever. Or we won't give you the school lunch money unless you do that. So yeah, so it's sort of. There was an old saying in business. I don't know whether you ever heard of a captive company. In what a captive company was is that like Walmart might come in and maybe I make window shades, okay, and Walmart basically would buy 75 to 80% of what I was doing, okay. Well, pretty much I'm a subsidiary now of Walmart because if they pull their funding, then I'm dead. All right. And then the company goes down to 20%. It kind of is the way it works with the feds in the state a lot. They get in and they say, okay, well, if you want to
That's
keep
the way
giving
they
it.
want you.
Exactly.
Like that, you where you want to.
Right.
Because eventually I bet the school will have solar panels. You
Sure.
watch.
Sure. It's probably,
Yep.
possible. I mean, the upside
will
is you
say-
could maybe get some electricity out of it and
Yeah.
one that might be helpful or
Yeah.
whatever on it, but I guess then you have to work out to decide how much are the panels gonna cost me over the next 20 years as opposed to what the electricity is costing me over the next.
See, and that will be a savings. too,
Yeah.
With the
Right.
solar panels.
Right.
So they're thinking ahead.
Yes, yeah.
The
Well.
state gotcha. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't know if people knew about that quote of the weekend, so.
That was very interesting. Thank you. I didn't even get to that.
Anybody else? Or-
That's interesting.
Thank you, George, for
Yeah.
helping us.
Thank you.
Life is not boring for you.
No, it's not boring. I wish it actually kind of calmed down a little bit or whatever or something, you know, I could use a few days of just hanging around right now and doing nothing. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to washing the car now. Yeah. You know.
And how many other people? I was trying to say, can we line up?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a new adventures, huh?
Yes, yeah.
And while you do that, do the inside.
Yeah, yeah. That's the part I let my wife do, because I can't get, I'm too big to get in between the seats and vacuum it. I mean, I just can't get in there and be comfortable while I'm doing it.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome to
It's a
stay
pleasure.
for the rest, or if you have other business to get.
Well,
back
I'm
to.
gonna run back because I'm still doing we're leading up to the budget. And even though I'm probably not going to be here when the real meat and potatoes comes out, I'm trying to leave a little bit to say that we worked our way up so that in the event that the next person doesn't come as quickly as we thought, it might, I don't want to let 4 or 5 months go by and then we have nothing or whatever. So we're trying to work with him. No, you can have it back. But thank you.
You gotta get back to the shop.
Yes, or whatever. But next time I'll wear a coat because
Yeah.
no, I think it was nice helping. I mean, lately everything's getting to me when it comes to the cold. I'm cold all the time now or whatever. I don't know.
Seems colder today than it was
Yeah.
yesterday.
Exactly.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I think, you know, I know that, you know, I've spoken with you a few times here and there. You come to and I think you pretty much know where, you know, the town is at the moment and what we're doing and it, you know, it's interesting times. And I think that things emerge. I look at it, especially the budget. It emerges as time goes on and you'll get the feel of where you are. I try not to come out with bad news, like, you know, and say, you know, we're in big trouble right out of the gate. But, you know, I think everybody's there right now. So I have a feeling it's going to be a tight year and it's going to be tough.
Well, this is a good group that, you know, works hard to promote
be stewards of the Council of on Aging and the services that we provide to the town. So
Right.
it's not necessarily that we're just here having parties and.
And we love Holly. She's doing a wonderful job.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of important stuff that happens here, a lot of services that are provided to
Yes.
the almost 5,000 seniors in Kingston. So
Flu shots and,
Oh,
and things
yeah.
like that.
outreach
Yes,
services,
yeah.
transportation.
Yeah.
Shields.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We have a group that
just-
does needling and they donate
Yeah.
everything they make to the community, to the homeless. Nothing
Yeah.
stays here. We
Yeah.
give it all away to the schools.
No,
Quilting same way. So, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good projects coming to this.
well, I said this morning even that, when we were having our department head meeting, I look at, in most of the towns fall in the same category. There are a few that have a lot of fringe, nicety things. Everything, all the towns have what is needed. And, you know, and these are the basic services that are needed. And it's, you know, it's just getting tough to make it happen because of just all the outside extraneous forces hitting you at the same time. But there will be, and I'll end with the same thing that I ended with this morning, when we left. Long after I'm gone and long after I've passed on, there will be a town of Kingston still here or whatever, and then, you know, and there will be, the other towns will be, I don't think that they're going out of business, but it's just, you know, you just gotta weather the storm for these types of years. Go from there.
You should try and come on a Thursday and see the bingo people.
Yeah,
You play bingo?
I don't mind.
With me, I'll show you how to play bingo.
Yeah, yeah, so,
When you have time.
right, exactly,
More
yeah,
often.
yeah.
Love to have you over more often.
Well, I appreciate the invite and I appreciate you having me come over. Today, it was a nice, it was a little break from the, I mean, after a while, sometimes you stare into that computer
Oh,
long enough and, I get up and my eyes are blurry and I can't see what I'm doing. It's like, what am I doing? You know,
I
or
do
whatever,
have
you
one
know?
question. for you.
Sure.
Have you ever considered playing Santa Claus at the senior center?
I certainly got the weight on me for it or whatever, you know, but
You don't have to have a costume, do we?
We can get that where we can get one.
Oh, is that, yeah. Trust me, I've thought in the past that people said. That's what I don't necessarily fit the Santa Claus bill, all that good or whatever. Now, if it was Halloween, I might be in better shape for it or whatever, so, whatever. But, well, thank you very much for having me. It was very nice meeting all of you
Appreciate it.
and we'll be talking as usual, you know, so,
For a wealth of information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come again.
yes, have a good day, yeah.
Come again.
Thank you.
It's just a matter of how, I mean, it's just a matter of how long, you know, that will the time last before they actually find your forever, or at least for a 5-year, person or whatever, you know, so.
Thank
Maybe
you.
he won't let you go.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Well, I'm on a short leash. I can only do so much. Remember, I'm retired. I can only do so much in a year, you know. when
First to watch.
you know.
Thanks, George.
Oh, please. Oh.
have a good day.
Yes, you too.
That was a great.
Yeah.
That's great information.
Santa has a deep voice, too.
He'd be good.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
good.
Oh,
That was good.
So now, new business 3, discussion regarding the cancellation of our regular scheduled December 9th COA Advisory Board meeting. With the last November 18th meeting today, so close behind and in the midst of all the holidays, I was asked by a few to cancel the upcoming December 9th meeting and resume to the regular scheduled January 13th meeting. Any discussion?
Have you ever done that before?
We've done that.
Not, yeah,
Yeah, we have
yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Was it
Last
last
year.
September? I know that it doesn't, we haven't always done it for holiday purposes.
No,
We have
no.
canceled meetings if there's nothing on the agenda or if there's a conflict with someone's
But
schedule.
I think it's a good idea. I really do.
And we
I
did it
think-
during COVID too.
Yeah, during COVID, yep.
during this.
There's no business that would need to be dealt with prior to January 13th.
Well, this month is really light.
Yeah, but what
And
about
we don't
things that
know,
need to be dealt with in December?
Is there anything
Is
that
there
you,
anything that couldn't wait? That anyone can think of?
I can't think of anything either.
Then I make a motion, unless you want to discuss further. I make a
anybody
mo-
else?
no,
Okay,
I make a motion that we dispense with our December 9th meeting of the advisory board and meet again on January 13th.
okay,
I second.
second. Green, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
and I'm sure if there's something major, we can fix that.
Right.
now, next staff and committee reports, director's report.
So you all have copies of the director's report.
Mhm.
The agent dementia livable Kingston update, as Kathy mentioned briefly, we met on November 10th. We were joined by Jason DeRozier of Old Colony Planning Council, who presented on housing. The survey showed that 44% of respondents rated Kingston as poor when it came to housing options. So that was a clear #1 priority. So as Kathy and I mentioned, the committee, the working group was presented with the survey results by Joanne virtually. We do not have hard copies of all those numbers. They're still kind of compiling them and making them all make sense in layman's terms. But the clear #1 priority was housing. So the meeting that we had this month, Jason came, he's their housing specialist for Old Colony Planning Council, and he presented some facts and figures and topics and discussions for us to sort of chew on about housing, not just specifically in Kingston, but in the area and and statewide. So there will be no meeting in December, but the working group will be reviewing the survey once that information is handed down to us, the survey results, and we as a working group will participate in a poll that they set up to determine the top 3 areas of focus. So as Kathy mentioned, we haven't decided on those yet. We did housing, that was the clear #1, but the other 2 or 3 that we are going to be working on, I think there was one that pretty much everyone would agree on, and then it was that the 3 and 4 spot that there were close figures. So we're still an active, engaged group, and as we move forward, the hard copy of the plan will be developed over the next couple of months, culminating in summer or early fall to be presented to the Board of Selectmen. We continue to have a full calendar of events and programs at the Senior Center, including a volunteer recognition event, which we held yesterday, and our annual Thanksgiving luncheon, which is this Thursday. The center will be closed next Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. We will be adding new exercise classes in the new year that offer more than just physical benefits, and collaborating with other town departments to host some fun educational events. We recently received a new AED machine and a naloxone box, courtesy of the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, which will be installed in the grand room where our exercise programs are held. So we have an AED machine in the front lobby, right near the main entrance doors. The new one that we received from the District Attorney's Office is going to be put in the grand room on the right-hand side when the wall's closed, where our exercise classes happen. So that will be installed, and I think a lot of you went to the first aid training that they offered. Those boxes, the Narcan and the AED machines were all part of that grant, so I appreciate everyone participating in that. You have an outreach report from Jenny attached on here. Those are the top 10 areas of outreach assistance that were provided for the month of October. Jenny has been assisting our Shine counselor with Medicare open enrollment period to get seniors signed up for appointments and make changes to their Medicare plans. We saw a huge influx of calls and emails and visits about that, a lot of Medicare changes. So our very dedicated Shine counselor has added on days and times to try to meet the demand. So Jenny's helping to coordinate on with that. Securing food resources amidst the dynamic SNAP funding changes and offering training sessions to assist people in filling out fuel assistance applications. So you'll see all of those numbers on her report.
I know I was here yesterday.
Mhm.
And I got into a program.
Good.
You know,
Yeah, so we had so many people fill the slots that we had available, and then we had a waiting list. So what our Shine counselor is going to be offering is a group session to sort of go walk through it. You know, not much individual attention can be given in a large group, but she will sort of try to address and go through the Medicare website to help people
Yeah,
at least maybe do a little bit of the research on their own, so. In October, Jenny and I attended the Massachusetts Councils on Aging Annual Conference in Falmouth, which offered an opportunity to attend a variety of educational seminars and networking events. So that was fun, and it was a great time for us to meet up with some other local directors and program coordinators and outreach coordinators. So that was a great opportunity that we try to take advantage of every year. And in the month of October, we provided 319 rides through our transportation program. We do have a new van driver being appointed at the Board of Selectmen's meeting this evening, it's yesterday, and with an anticipated start date of December 1st. And in October, Cafe Evergreen served 459 meals, which I think was the highest number I had seen over a year. That included our October Fest event on October 17th. And as I mentioned, we'll be doing the Thanksgiving lunch this Thursday, and we'll be closed next Thursday, but the cafe seems to be just week over week continuing to have great numbers. So all good things. Yes.
Take a breath.
Take a breath.
I would like to thank Holly and the staff for the volunteer luncheon. It was excellent.
It was very
The food and everything.
well. We certainly, as I said yesterday, we rely so heavily on volunteers and the knowledge and the generosity and the time that volunteers give us, and so it's just a small token of our appreciation and all of our board members, friends.
It's nice to be appreciated.
It is nice to be appreciated. That's important. Thank you.
That's it, Holly?
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
I have just a little something to say for the chair report. I attended the Essential First Aid Training on November 3rd, sponsored by the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office. And the group reviewed CPR, automated external defibrillator, the AED, and administering Narcan, which was naloxone, for overdoses. In addition, they discussed using an EpiPen for allergic reactions, using a tourniquet to stop bleeding, and the procedure for doing an abdominal thrust for choking. We were given some sample CPR devices, Narcan, and a tourniquet. This was an excellent, informative event. All attendees even received a gift card for Target. I have given you all a packet of what they passed out to us that day. You should all have from the DA's office. And also last Friday, I attended the public safety luncheon seniors sponsored by the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office. It was held at the 1620. Topics included examples of recent scams and issues pertaining to the opioid crisis. And I also have handouts for those of you that weren't able to attend, including contact and other information, tips on safety and identity theft, and a file of life packet, which is this idea. So everybody that went already got it there, and those that didn't go, you should have a packet.
Thank you.
Under old business, not much to discuss, but we still need a secretary. As far as remembering any this month, let's take a moment to acknowledge the passing of our dear friend Margaret Spaluzzi. Say a prayer for her and her family. Any comments? Anybody else to remember? So, okay, as per our vote, all in favor, our next regular meeting will be held on January 13th, 2026 at 11:30 a.m. here at Kingston Council on Aging plus Zoom. The time is now 12:14. Does anyone wish to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I
Anybody
second.
second? Green? All in favor? Aye. Well, thank you for being here today. Have a great day and happy holidays to all.